Hello and welcome to this general devlog, which is the main devlog, I'd say, because here I will show you the most obvious changes or the changes that you see when you play the game. So first of all, I will talk about the changes in the user experience, which basically means the billing system, the recruiting system and the spell system. Of course they are the same in the root, but I changed some important things there, which I will talk about first. Then I will talk about the NavMesh and what I changed in the NavMesh. For all of you who don't know what the NavMesh is, this is basically the map where the forces can go and which they use to go to find a path. Next off, I will talk about the biggest change, the AI, which is new in the game, and some challenges that I had to face there. Then I will talk about the minimap, which is also a new element in Prototype 2, and lastly there will be the outro. Have fun and enjoy the video. So let's start with the first things that you will notice when you hit play. So first of all, of course all the visual changed, but that you already saw that in the showcase. A thing that you maybe didn't notice is when you start building something, for example this, it's no longer that you click somewhere to move it, it's that you drag and drop it. Here I use the mouse because you can see the mouse, but I could also use my finger, but you don't see the finger. And yes, that's something that changed. Also to execute spells, it's the same thing, but also the spell menu changed because you now have a buy panel and a use panel, and also you can't just directly purchase the number 2. For example, if I click, it doesn't work. You first have to purchase the one that costs 1, and then you can purchase the number 2. Problem here is that I don't have spell points, so let's change that real quick. I have it on my player manager, spell point amount, we will just say 20,000, this equals 4 spell points. And with that, when we start and we hit that button and hit the number 1, we got it, we hit the number 2, we got it, we hit the number 1, we got it. Wonderful. And which I meant is if you click on one of them, yeah, you also have to drag and drop it. It doesn't work with just clicking. Yeah, that's a thing. And there's also some visual bug when you enter stone, because, well, you don't see it anymore. This can become really a problem if you, for example, click here. Now you ask yourself, where is it? It's actually here in the stone. Yeah, that's it with the building and spell system. Also with the recruiting system there's something new, I think. First of all, of course, that you are required to have the buildings, the corresponding buildings. For example, the miner, I can build it because it's recruited in a main gold pit, but I can't build a swordsman. For that I first have to build a swordsman barracks, and then I can recruit a swordsman. Yes. That's it with the 3 main systems, the spell, build and recruiting system. So next change I want you to see is the NavMesh. I changed not much, but now it's generated at runtime. As you can see, because the level is also generated at runtime. This was a little bit challenging, not a lot, but a little bit. And also with the structures, they now have a spear NavMesh obstacle, I mean a capsule, instead of a box, because with the box, yeah, there was the problem that the forces just ran around the building and attacked from there instead of like going directly into the building like they logically should. I don't know, but in the first devlog you definitely saw that bug. That doesn't happen anymore, at least not in that terrific state. Yes, that is everything to the NavMesh. Also I obviously changed the map generation, but that has another video for itself. I obviously also changed the combat system. I mean, that's less obvious, I think, but I hope you notice it. Before there was a problem that it worked differently with some check system, so they didn't attack things instant. Now they do. Now the biggest change probably is the AI, which was definitely a lot of work because you can't do it the same way as with the player. Of course, the building system doesn't vary that much, and you can use parts of the old building system, but the start of the building is different. Here it's so with the player, you click on building, you click on the building, you drag and drop, you click confirm. That's different here. The AI has to decide in its brain if it wants to build another building. Then it has obviously to check where it can build the building, and then it gets confirmed. Yeah, here you can see it, and yeah, also the positions, how the AI tries to build it, they are predefined. Yeah, also with the recruiting there is a difference because, well, with the player you just click on recruiting, you click on whatever you want, and the player has the player has to know whether he can build that or not, or he recognizes that he can't build, for example, the bowman, and he doesn't build the bowman. But with the AI you have to manually check if the buildings are there. I can probably just show you some things in the enemy AI. Basically, yeah, in-game buildings, there are a list of all in-game buildings and how many they have, because that's important for the speed. And they know, okay, we have one Swartzen tavern, we have one Orc Ren tavern, we have one Orc main goal pit, and whenever it builds something new, what is that? It's a Swordman tavern. Yeah, it updates to the number 2, and yeah, so that's basically how the AI works. Also, the AI had to gather a lot of forces and then send them in, not send them in directly, because that would be a little bit inefficient. And yeah, that works pretty well. As you can see, with I think 10 different forces, or 10 forces, they decide to attack. And yes, I also had to implement a system that you can give forces different commands, I would say, so that you can say, okay, hey, you go there, and if you find someone on the way, you attack him, but if you finished to kill them and no one is in your range, you continue to go there, because otherwise they just stand there. And yes, that are the biggest changes. And also with the combat system and the minimap, I will post own videos about it. One last thing in the general dialogue that are visual for every player is the minimap up here. You can even scale it up a little bit. This will change in the future. It was not that difficult, but you had to put in another layer. For example, in the scene, if I just pause it real quick, and I think here up here were the render settings. Yeah, the minimap, and you see these things are objects in the scene that are usually hidden from the normal camera, and the minimap camera is just in the air somewhere. See, there are a lot of objects in here. Where is the minimap camera? In the player connection? No, not in the player connection. In the map. Yeah, in the map. Minimap camera is up here and films down. Yeah, and of course you had to put it in the right position. That happens in the map generation class. Yes, so that's also interesting to see, I think, because I didn't know personally that it works like this with the minimap. But yeah, that's one way how it works. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't hesitate to like and or subscribe, and I am glad for every feedback that I get, so don't hesitate to write a comment over things that you liked or didn't like. And with that, I wish you an amazing day. Goodbye.